All right, what's up everyone? So today what I have for you, and honestly this was not a planned video, just through kind of fruition here, just through the natural journey of me fishing. I've picked up quite a few different reels for quite a few different setups, right? So I just figured, you know, I've got 4 different Shimano reels. Let me go ahead and talk to you guys about the difference between all these different Shimano reels. And there's a couple different Shimano reels within the Curado and the SLX line that I know all about, so I'll talk to you about the whole line. But for right now, let's go over what I have, right? So you see we've got the Shimano SLX XT, okay? It's a 150 size spool. I've got the Shimano SLX DC, so this is the digital chip spool. And again, it's 150 size, so it's the exact same size as the XT. This is the newest reel in my arsenal. This is the Curado MGL 70. Okay, so you see this brand new, smaller Curado. And then a workhorse here. This is the Curado 200K. Okay, so it's a almost dropped the Curado. It's a 200 size spool. Okay, so that is what we're looking at today. So Shimano has 2 kind of the mid-high level lines, right? Of course, they've got other categories of reels or lines of reels that are far more expensive, right? But the SLX and the Curado, right? The Curado has been known for years as kind of the Toyota or Lexus, I guess, of the fishing game in terms of just a good, beautiful, sleek, reliable reel, right? But that being said, there's Bentleys and there's still far more expensive Ferraris, and so it's not the Ferrari and it's not the Bentley, right? But it definitely fits in that Lexus category, and I would put the SLX in the Toyota category. All right. So the SLX, okay, it's they has an original SLX, which would be the first one in line. That's $99. Okay. That's a great reel. The only thing I'm not crazy about with the regular SLX is it's not as externally adjustable. As you see the XT, you got the big dial for the external brakes, right? So to me, honestly, that's the only reel in this whole family that I do not recommend, right? So, but for the extra $20, you go ahead and get, or sorry, extra $30, you go ahead and get yourself a SLX XT. It's got the this more sleek and better looking body and frame on the reel than if you just got the regular SLX, and you're gonna have the easily adjustable brakes on the outside. So personally, this is an 8.2. This is my frogging reel. I use this for frogging. Then they have the SLX DC. Okay, so the DC is the digital chip. Okay, so inside of this is a basically a little bit of a generator that powers the digital chip computer in there that tells the reel essentially how much it helps the reel work on not bird's nesting. So it helps the brake system adjust itself a little bit so that you're not constantly bird's nesting if you don't have a smooth cast, or if you get a little bit of uptick in the wind, the wind picks up a little bit, you're not going to be bird's nesting nearly as much. That being said, it's definitely still possible to bird's nest. Let me tell you, it is. So there is one other reel in the full line of the SLX, because there's 4 different models, and that is the newest, the SLX MGL. So just like I've got the Curado MGL here, it is the SLX version of the 70 spool size with the MGL spool. Okay, so realistically, I'll go more into what the MGL offers when I talk about the Curados here in a second. because essentially it's going to be the same set of features. It's just on the SLX platform. So the Curados. Here I've got the Curado K. This comes in at $180, right? So at $180, you get the extra sleek Lexus body, right? We're comparing this to the Lexus line of cars. If you're going to compare reels to cars, at least that's just what I'm doing right now. But it's a 200 size, so really it's a big enough spool to throw any type of fishing technique. And it's just, honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful reel. It is the smoothest casting reel that I own. Okay, period. The absolute smoothest casting reel that I own. The next would be the Curado MGL. So that is their next step up in terms of price point, right? So it is the 70 size, and it is the MGL spool. So the MGL is something they've put on their higher end reels in the past. And what this does for you is it allows the spool to spin faster, even though you've got less line on there, so you can really get accurate casts and not worry about bird's nesting as much when you're trying to throw the lighter finesse weighted baits. But you can also use this for pitching and flipping. It's not a lightweight reel, right? I mean, it is light in physical weight, but what I mean is it can handle punching or flipping. It can handle just about whatever you want to do with it. But for its size, you tend to use this for finesse baits or also for pitching or flipping. So the Curado line also has a DC model. So there is a Curado DC, so the digital chip that allows you to not bird's nest in the wind as easily, or every time you switch a lure, you don't have to make adjustments as much. That's the other reel in the Curado line. So that being said, the Curado MGL, even though it's a smaller reel, because it's engineered to be able to do those finesse baits and specialty, it's a specialty spool, so it's meant to do finesse baits and pitching and flipping. You're gonna go ahead and use this. Sorry to go ahead and get interrupted there, but I just got a package, so future video. So what I was saying is the Curado MGL is going to cost you about $230, so $229, right? The Curado DC version, so again the digital chip version of the Curado, is going to cost you a little closer to $260, $270. So you've got $270 in the DC, you've got $230 right here in the MGL, and you've got $180 right here in the regular Curado K. And again, the SLX base model was $99, the XT is $129. I don't think I mentioned before how much the MGL version of the SLX would be, but that right there is $149, just like the digital chip version, the DC SLX is $189. So out of all of these reels, honestly, my two favorite reels are going to be the regular Curado K right here and the SLX DC, right? So they're ironically both pretty much the same price point, $180, $190. So I love how this is a 200 size spool, and I love how smooth it casts. And even though it's not a digital chip, very rarely do I need to make major adjustments to this spool. But because of the peace of mind I have in the DC technology in this SLX reel, I use this to throw real lightweight baits. I use this whenever I've got someone fishing with me and I don't want to fix their reel all the time because they're using my stuff. I give them this because I gotta fix a whole lot less bird's nests. So huge fan of the SLX DC. That being said, I don't own the Curado DC, but I'm sure if I did, I would love the Curado DC a little more than the SLX DC. But my next favorite reel is probably gonna have to be this 70, and I've only owned it, the MGL 70. I've only owned this now for about a month. and I can't seem to put it down. In fact, I'm tying other baits onto the rod that I shouldn't be necessarily, just to go ahead and use the reel more often, because I'm still in the honeymoon period with this beautiful piece of machinery right here. But really, you can't go wrong is what I'm trying to point out. This isn't me trying to pick a favorite. This is me letting you know firsthand my experience with the different platforms of the Curado and the SLX line. So I've done so much talking, everyone. I'm getting a little hoarse, but please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you catch all of my future content, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.